Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DG Paper Crafts. In today's video, we're going to be making this faceted gift box. The gift box is 4 inches high until it starts to narrow at the top, and it's 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I have a simple ribbon closure and the box opens like so. So let me show you how I put this box together. We'll start with a piece of cardstock which is 7.5 by 10.5, and we'll score along the 7.5 inch side at 2, 4 and 6. Rotate and along the long side score at 10 inches and down to the first score line only score at 2.5, 5 and 7.5, and then make a notch or a pencil mark along the top edge of the cardstock at 1 1/4, 3 3/4, 6 1/4 and 8 3/4. Rotate the piece 180 degrees, so our tab is now on the left, and score down to the 2 inch score line, so the first score line at 3 inches, 5.5 inches and 8 inches. So this 1.5 section is going to be the top parts of the box, which comes in to create the lid, and this bottom section is going to be the base glue tabs. You'll now need a stylus and ruler. Have the tab on the right hand side, and to start with we're going to score from the top notch down to the left hand side, to the end of this score line here, and down to this center point here. So we're going to add 2 diagonals, a left and a right diagonal, within each of these top 1.5 inch sections. Next, we're going to score from the top left hand end of the score line here down to the start of this score line within the bottom section. So within each section we're going to score from this point down to this point down to this point down to this point, all the way along, and then we're going to do the same in the opposite direction. So we will have a score line which runs from here down to here, here down to here, here down to here within each section. Okay, so we've now got all of our additional score lines in. We'll start with folding and burnishing the verticals and horizontals. So I'm going to fold over the 1/2 inch glue tab like so. Fold along the top 1.5 inch horizontal as a mountain fold. Fold the bottom 2 inch score line as a mountain fold, and the central score line is going to be a valley fold, like so. We'll now do our cutting, and then we will fold and burnish the diagonals. Rotate the piece so you have your 1/2 inch tab in front of you. Cut up each of the verticals within the 1/2 inch tab to the horizontal score line. Rotate and remove the bottom rectangle, like so, and then take a wedge from the ends of each of the remaining 3 glue tabs. We've got our 2 inch section in front of us. This is going to be the base of the box. We're going to cut up each of the verticals to the horizontal to create the tabs for the box base. So I'm going to cut either side and remove the score line, and you want to do that on all 3 score lines. And now we're going to fold and burnish the remaining diagonal score lines. We'll start with the top section. You want to fold the diagonals over as a mounting fold, and the vertical score line is going to become a valley fold. So just take your time. So we'll just start to manipulate these into shape, and then we can go in and burnish. So work your way along. So that's started to add some shape into that top section. This centre score line will be a valley fold. I'm going to mountain fold the diagonal in its entirety. Do that all the way along. I'm going to do the same in the opposite direction. So you can see we've started to get some shape. And then if you're comfortable, go in with your score tool and just burnish those down. So that's our piece. We now want to put the holes in for the ribbon so that we can close the box up. I'm going to put my hole roughly 1/2 inch in from the vertical score line and about 1/2 inch down. I'm going to use my stationer's hole punch because it gives me a good size hole for my ribbon. So that's there. So that's the holes for the ribbon or the thread, whatever it is that you're going to use. I'm now going to join up the 2 ends, fold in these side glue tabs. And the key when you add this piece together is you obviously want to try and make sure that you get the score lines lined up. You get these score lines lined up so that they run the same all the way around the outside of the box. And I can see here that my hole is going to be slightly impeded by the glue tab. I'm going to just trim down that top glue tab. I'm going to start with the middle glue tab. Get that one into place. Just push these out of the way. Get the next one pushed into place, and then get this top one into place. And I'm just going to lay the box down and just gently burnish that down without putting too much pressure on any of the score lines. So we want to pop in the triangles along the centre score line all the way around. I'm going to fold over, my join is here, I'm going to fold in 2 opposite tabs and add glue, and I will use my construction glue. I'm then going to add glue to the back of this one, fold that over, and then add glue to the back of the last one. So this essentially is our box, which is now ready for decoration. I'm going to get on with that and then I'll come back. Here's my finished decorated box. You can see I've added DSP onto all of the facets all the way around and just a simple ribbon tie at the top. I'm really happy with the look of this box and it has actually come together quite quickly. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.